My young minds, hello and welcome to Unite Naija Season 2, a program celebrating Nigerians' diversity, promoting unity and inspire positive change. My name is Nasir Yunusa and
I am Elizabeth Ereke. The program is Unite Naija and we have the privilege of hosting representatives from 3 esteemed universities today. With us we have the representatives from the University of Abuja, Bayes University and Nile University. You're all welcome to Click Naija Studios. Like Nat said earlier on, this is the Season 2 edition of Click Naija. Let the drums roll. Let's give us so we're all welcome once again.
now follow us on our social media handle. For Facebook and YouTube is Click Naija, and for Instagram and X is our Click Naija 1. Log on to our website at www.clicknaija.gov.ng. Share this and get informed. Don't forget to share this video now. This program is sponsored and supported by Leadway Assurance.
Thinking inside the box is very limiting. Outside the box, now that's where the real gold is. Truth is, you're doing so well for always making moves, but now you need a partner like Leadway to take the high grounds with you. A partner experienced enough to help you build, knowledgeable enough to expand your assets, and competent enough to ensure your well-being and secure your future. Get more with Leadway, your one-stop shop for all your non-banking financial services. Visit one.leadway.com to get started.
Do you think the youth have actually received appointments under the present administration will be able to live up to expectation? Because we have about 5 or 7 ministerial appointees with several director generals and CEOs. So tell us your opinion on what you think about their nominations and how well they will perform, or do you think they will fall our hands?
Exactly. Do you think those young appointees will fall our hands? And that brings us straight to our topic for today and the new appointment of President Tinubu administration, what youth can do differently.
Like I earlier announced, we have some beautiful and handsome men in the studio. So we would like to put a name to the faces we have here. So I'll go from my right, and I think they're from Bayes University. Can we meet you, please?
My name is from Bayes University.
Can you take your name again? I didn't hear you.
My name is Suleiman from Bayes University.
Okay.
My name is Wafia Ahmad Sagir from Bayes University, Abuja.
My name is Mudia Eredewa and I'm a student from Bayes University, Abuja.
My name is Jetro Beko from University of Abuja.
Okay. The lady in glasses.
I am. My name is Uyo Kadiri from Nile University.
My name is Buluwatife Ayodele from Nile University.
And I'm Angel James from Nile University.
My name is Dr. Harris Ifeanyi, lecturer with Bayes University.
All right, of course we have a doctor. The doctor from Bayes University is a lecturer. He's not among. He's just going to brush some things up for us. Now, all right, guys. Before we get into the main conversation, we are going to have a mini brain battle. Yes. Are you guys ready?
You never saw this coming, right?
Yeah. So,
all right, we have 6 questions, but we have some rules that we have to follow. Yes.
Okay.
Each university is to answer 2 questions, right? Whoever doesn't answer the question or answers wrongly, that question becomes a bonus to the next university that can answer. And we have just 10 seconds. Wow. Is it too small? 20 seconds? 30? Okay, 20 seconds. Okay, so we have 20 seconds for us to answer this question. Don't worry, they're just questions that are centered around the new appointments and some little, yes. Yeah. So, and then some current affairs questions, general current affairs questions. They're not something to be afraid of. So, want to know how current you are? and how conversant you are with the happenings in the country.
Yes. So
are we ready?
Are we guys ready?
Yes. No, I don't like that. Yes. Are we ready? Yeah. Oh, we are youths now. We should be vibrant. Are we ready? So now let's go.
So we are going to start with Bayes University. So this question is going directly to Bayes University. Now, who is the youngest appointed minister in Tinubu's government and the person's age?
Your time starts now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Is it Dr. Better?
Yeah.
Dr.
You think or you is? So how old is the person?
She's 37.
Correct.
A round of applause. So our second question goes to University of Abuja. Okay, who is the Minister of Education? Who knows it?
Who can help you, please?
Professor Tahir.
Okay,
I didn't hear you. We're just clapping. What are we clapping? He's our minister, actually. So we wanted to know how well you know the minister of the place you are coming to.
Like, they want to know how well. So our next question, please.
What is the name of the first university in Nigeria? Bayes University.
Suka.
The first university of Nigeria is
First University of Nigeria is University of Nigeria.
No. The first university in Nigeria is the University of Ibadan.
So that's 10 points for University of Abuja. Who is recording it for me? So Bayes, you have 20, right? University of Abuja has 10. Now you have to wake up. Don't mind me. So now
our next question is
University of Abuja.
Yes, University. No.
No, that was a bonus for me. So he has to take the next question.
Okay, the next question is you, Jethro, my G. How many awards did Nigeria win in the just completed 2023 Trace Award in the music category?
Who are my mass communicators?
Very wicked question.
Mass communicators. Is it actually Who is taking it? Who is taking it? You people are owing me 2 gifts now. Who can try? Somebody is shouting something somewhere from our crew. I'm hearing something somewhere. Woo! So give it up for one of our crew members. So it's actually 6. Last but not the least, now university. You people fail this one. The award-winning book Things Fall Apart was written by who? So you can see it was just a little something to charge up our brains. But we have a winner. Unfortunately, I don't even know what we are going to give our winner, but we'll just give them a round of applause. Who is our winner? That was nice, guys. That was nice. So, now it's over to you. What do you have for us next?
All right, now let's get started. Young people are regarded as agents of change in every society, and President Bola Tinubu seems to be on the path of involving more young people in this government. So, I will start with officials, with names. Okay, I start with Bayes. Should I? Jethro, let me start with you.
I don't want to start with Jethro.
No,
I want to start with the doctor. You ask me why now?
Why?
Because he's not part of this conversation, but I want to hear his own perception of the question you want to ask. Everybody will still answer the question.
Okay.
So let's go. If I'll be given that honor. Ask him the question.
So the question is, what's your perception so far of the move of Mr. President to engage young people, you understand, the way they have done so far?
I think that it's indicative of the fact that he is aware of the times, and it's impressive. Nigeria has the highest youth population in Africa, and when you have youth population, the best thing to do, especially when we know that as time rolls, the old fizzle out and the young come on board, is to start trying them out and start up with them to see how you can introduce them gradually into the system that you are building for them, since they are the future of tomorrow. I believe that he is doing a great job, and my perception and what I perceive is that he is aware of the Nigerian context. He is aware of the endowment of the country, because young people are just amazing, and having the youth is one way to go. I hope that this enthusiasm and this interest in the young people would continue. It will persevere. It would not just be one of those methodologies that are deployed to give people a good idea or give people an idea that the government is trying to take a step in the right direction, and as time goes on, it begins to fizzle out gradually. So I hope it continues, and I am impressed by it, and I salute the president.
So does anybody have anything to add? Quickly.
I agree that it's admirable. It's that he's even, calling on a good number of young people to take position in his administration so early. The hope, like Doctor has pointed out, is that it's not just a ploy to seem like his head is in the right place or his heart is with us. The hope is that, these moves by putting young people in these positions are actually for the right reasons. So yeah, that's my two cents.
I think he's open to it, and I think that in itself is a good thing. And we can't really say too much now, seeing as how the administration just started, so it's just early days. But I do like the fact that he's willing to be that inclusive.
Yeah.
I think that it would be very questionable if he went the other route to disregard the youthful population. It's supposed to be a given. As he said, Nigeria has the highest population of young people in Africa. So if you're taking advantage of that, that has to be to the benefit of Nigeria. And I also think that if you are considering people in official positions, they should be representative of the people that are actually in the population, so it should be a given.
Okay, so before I ask my next question, I just want to quickly state that for the fact, yes, I'll give Jetro a chance, please. Okay, I'll give you a chance because you're sorry. So, but I want to quickly state this. For the fact that a school or an individual is being called up to take up the lead in answering a question doesn't mean when you have your own inputs, you cannot lend your voice to it. This gathering is supposed to be as conversational as much as it can be, because we are sending a message not just to ourselves, but to Mr. President himself. So we should bear our minds the way they are. I just want to quickly state that so that we'll get that right. So Mr. Jetron, you wanted to say something?
I think we are growing in Nigeria. I think we are growing actually. Yeah. Because over the years we've been having people that are old. So it's like Nigerians doing well outside the country, even at other parastatals like sports and all that. But we have few Nigerian youths that are involved in political appointments, political office and organizations. But President Bola Tinubu has showed us that it is possible for us to have a young person, and this young person would give us a good result. So we are hoping, as the government continues, we are hoping to see what these young persons give us.
Okay, so now university, you will take the lead in this one. What do you think, looking at the appointments now, what do you think these youths can bring to the table in terms of representation, in terms of implementation and all whatnot?
Should I go? Yeah, sure. I think the youth, first of all, we are very sharp. Honestly, I personally, from what I've observed, I think that Nigeria has some of the most brilliant and capable people, possibly in the world.
Yeah, it's
So
improving in different spaces over the years.
Yes, I mean, even if you look at young people that go out abroad to study, you find that it's mostly Nigerians that are coming out on top. So we have a lot to bring to the table as far as implementation and representation. First of all, is very important because yes, what are you actually going to do? How are you going to contribute to the development of Nigeria's economy or political sphere, wherever it is that you feel, wherever it is that you find yourself, what are you going to do? But it's also important for people that are just completely outside of that circle, someone just looking at a young person that is making changes that we probably didn't imagine would even happen. Because as he said, we've been watching old people that are even older than Nigeria running this country for so long. And for me to see that there's a minister that is 37 years old, I know that as, first of all, a woman and as a young person, I can stand, there's a chance. Because she has already opened the door for me and...
that's like she said, it's half the job. When young people see more people like them in positions of power, positions of authority, it gives more young people that belief that if their heart's in the right place, or they study well, or they keep their noses clean and keep keeping more or less being active in their societies, one day they could grow to be in those spaces as well. So exactly. So if you now double down on inclusion and you are ensuring that the people who are representing young people are people of competence or people with their hearts in the right place, then the hope is even times 10. It's not misplaced hope because we're seeing young people on our TV. We have hope that these young people are competent and they can actually positively contribute to the betterment of this country. So it's a good...
Sorry, I want to build up on that because people often underestimate the value of self-belief, knowing that something is possible. Because it's not today that Nigeria started being brilliant, that Nigeria just started having a young population. We have always been like this. But knowing that it's possible, knowing that the chance is there and the doors are open, it can unleash the greatest amount of potential in our people. And honestly, I think that might even be much bigger than whatever it is that they contribute, because somebody's term in government will end after some years, but that lasting ripple effect across the population of the nation is what we really need to look at, because that's where it's at, that's where the future of our country is.
Even moving away from the young person now that we have that has occupied that position, the young people that even vied, that took the bold step to vie for positions, it was really something to see. Like the young man, the actor, forgotten his name. I mean, Yo is dead, but then Harry. Everybody was so shocked, but yet so happy, because that was somebody that was actually representing the youth. So even just moving away from Dr. Betta that we have now, the fact that people have taken that bold step just shows that even in the next elections, we are going to see other people that will really
You can't even get them in the first place if they are not buying.
Exactly. So, okay.
I think I have a different opinion, and I'd like us to see it from this perspective. You see, with the youth now, we are now the face of the people, and everybody is depending on what we do. Because it's like this appointment is like an entrance, like you said.
Yes.
But this entrance is what determines if other people will be allowed to sit on those positions, those seats, if they actually do well. So we can't say because we know we are young people and they've given us the opportunity to do one or two things in the office and we shouldn't do it well. So like she said, what are we bringing to the table? I think one of the things we need to do as young persons, for the persons on the seat and those that are not on the seat, we need to sit and seek more knowledge. We need to study our country. We need to study our environment. We need to study our continent. We need to know what we can bring to the table that will actually give more rooms to other young people. Because if we, for instance, if, like we said, sorry, thank you, we are tired of the recycling. Now, if we're actually tired of the recycling, why are we tired? It's because they are doing the same thing. It's just like different people doing the same thing. So they are not doing what we, the youth, actually want. So if we want them to do, if we actually want to do what we want, what the youth wants, why the youth actually were crying during the 2020 NSAS protest and all that, if we actually want the youth to do new things, then we, the youth, need to speak to ourselves. We need to seek knowledge. We need to understand what we are doing. Let us advance so that we can give room to other people. One of the first things we can bring to the table now in this Tinubu's government is that we need to seek knowledge. We need to advance.
Okay. Yeah. And that is a good point, because we are in a stage where knowledge is the most accessible so we have to take advantage of that. And if we don't study the history of Nigeria, we'll have no choice but to repeat it.
Yes. Those who don't know their history are risk.
You want to say something, Doctor?
Okay. Because I was told I will always come in maybe at some point.
You are part of the conversation, so feel free to come in at any time you want to.
I think that I'm happy with what is happening now. And my hope is becoming a little better with regards to how well it is burning. What I think is that the issue about appointment should also deal with competence. And then my question now becomes, how do we measure competent people? How do we select them? How do we know that a person is competent? Exactly. What are the indices by which we measure that competence? Now, it will be wrong for you to use a road at night and you use that road knowing that the road has pothole, and you decide to use that same road in the day.
This is your analysis. Are you evil?
Because the idea is, if by night you told the story, by day everyone says it. And so if we have young people, we must also know that there is a need to create a method by which we understand how competent they are. And I would repeat, and I stand to be corrected, competence is not only about certification. There are so many things and so many indices by which you can measure that. And I think that good, we have young people, like Jetro said, and this said. We have young people, amazing. But they have a very key role to play, in the sense that if they do it wrong...
Yeah, that's probably the last time I see young people in those spaces.
So it becomes a matter of, you are not elected because the last time we gave you an opportunity... Exactly. So I believe that the government and those in power who are interested in the youth must also create a methodology by which competence is not only tested pre-appointment, and a system by which competence should also be measured. I don't think that it speaks well as an appointee or a person that is vying for ministerial position, or a person that is considered for ministerial position, to be asked to recite the national anthem and you can't. you are telling us a lot. So I think that there is a need for...
I also think it's problematic that that's one of the hoops you have to jump through at the Senate hearing. It's such a basic thing to have.
And you...
No, please go ahead.
Yeah, you see people sweating.
But it could be tension. You know, there are times you actually know what you should say.
I understand stage travel. It's like the Lord's Prayer for Christians. You've been reciting it every Sunday your whole life. So if you are standing in front of 1,000 people and they say recite the Lord's Prayer, you would be shaking, but you would. So I have no sympathy for anybody in that space that suffers because of stage fright.
Yeah.
It's a cop-out. What happens when you're in the UN National Assembly? So which is what Doctor is trying to say. If you are a young person who is vying for office, make sure you are the best of the best.
Yeah.
Because our future depends on how well you handle your mandate. I don't believe that young people should stop at fighting for young people to be in no space. The next thing now is holding these young people accountable. Because if the likes of Dr. Betta or Dr. Jamila, who is the Minister of Youth, if these people go to work every day and go home at night feeling like young people are content that we're here, they will do the barest minimum, and at the end of their tenure, they fade into the night.
Okay, so I want to hear some people's voice. Suleiman.
Like, yeah, I wanted to talk. I said, having like what Doctor said, he's happy with what this government is doing. Like, even me, I'm happy. But what we want the youth to do is let them know that they are representing the youth. Let it not be like they are in the office working for. We here, all our eyes is on them.
Yeah.
So let them do the good things that will give the youth hope tomorrow that they will be there.
And they should also be very, very competent. Like, they should know that what they do there depends on like the people that are going to come after them. Like, they should make sure they do what they are supposed to do and do not fail the youths.
Okay.
I think representation of youth should not be an empty statement. It should actually be like a viable, like a feasible expectations. Not saying that, oh, you should represent this whole nation that we are in. There should be like concrete evidence that they are ready to make a better nation, make it better than Nigeria.
Okay. Finally, I just want to say this out there. Just put it out there. As a youth that is a minister, fellow ministers that are older than you are not your competition. They aren't. If you think you did good because you outdid a minister, no. Your competition is the body of intelligent Nigerian youth that are watching you beyond what you can imagine. And the social media platform is doing way much more better than we can imagine in our day. And so it is good that we understand that our case is not just to outdo, but also to understand that a lot of responsibility rests on our shoulders.
Okay, we are with our sponsor, Lead Assurance. Thank you very much for sponsoring this program. Next is can youth match up with the demands and the challenge ahead of them to live up to expectation? Like started. Okay.
There's the
from every corner of the room. Let's start with Mr. Wakuja.
Alright. Youth naturally are strong people. They are viable people. So I think every organization, if you look at the church, religious organization, the church, the mosque, the educational sector, every organization has youth as their strength. So when we say something is our strength, it means it has capacity to bear burdens. It has capacity to carry youth loads. So I think the youth can meet up with the expectation and the demands, but on one condition. It is that we, the youth, we need to be ready for what is coming. Yeah, actually, we need to be ready for what is coming. So, are we ready for what is coming?
Yeah.
So, are
you actually ready for what is coming?
Like Doctor was saying, he was talking about the persons that are the youths that are ministers. They shouldn't see other ministers as their competition, but the remaining people, like the general youth, general public, as their competition. Now, when we are talking about this, you being privileged to be the minister, it's just a privilege. It's not as if you are the best of the best. So you should be ready to carry the burden. If you are not ready, then you leave the space, because many Nigerians now are actually waiting to see a forward-moving Nigeria at 62, thereabout. 63. 63. Because me, I'm still looking at 62 because
no, don't drag us back.
This year's independence, which was 63, I didn't celebrate it.
Why?
Yes, I didn't actually celebrate it.
Why? I want to know the reason why you didn't.
The reason why I didn't celebrate it was because we looked like 62. And I'm airing out my opinion. Yes, we look like 62. The Nigeria that we anticipated for, the Nigeria that we dreamt about, is not what we are seeing. Like at 63, we are still dragging for the price of fuel. We are still trying to know how to like children. Yeah. So, and it's really something that is disheartening.
Yeah.
So let's go on with youth. Yeah. You understand? You said Betu, Edu, other people are there to take on the expectation. So can you conclude that for us?
So, I think we just need to be ready to carry the body. We can carry the body, but we need to be ready to carry the body.
Okay, who else to come in?
Yeah. For me, I think that they are very hungry people. Even in our space.
Who are very hungry?
No, I don't mean hungry in the
Hungry in a
sense.
positive sense.
In a positive sense, like you want to do something. For example, when I have group projects, she's the one I always want to work with because she has great work ethic. So I believe that there are people who are willing to do the work. I believe that there are youth who are very much interested in the happenings of the youth and just the general interest of Nigerians.
Yes.
So
One of them.
I am one of them as well. So I think that when we start to put these people in place, when we also see their delegates, because it's much more than the Oga or the Madam at the top. Yeah. It's who are the people you're adding to your team? How hungry are they? How willing are they to work? So even aside from the person that is up there, it's like you that is underneath them. What is your purpose and what do you want to achieve? So yeah, that's what I think. I think they are very hungry people.
Okay, Modia?
I agree. I think participation is a two-way street. It's not just the Dr. Betters and the people who are already vying for office. As citizens, as boots on the ground, we also need to participate in the governing process, in the political process. Because I find with young people, or just with us as a people in general, we wait on, the only thing we're concerned about when it's time for elections is who's running for president, who's their running mate. At that time, in my opinion, it's already too late to do anything or to affect the political process. So from as early as possible, we need to encourage more young people to take part. If you are not, seeking position of power or leadership, go out and vote. Let the person that you think should be in that position of power, go and support them. Encourage more people to let their voices be heard. In election, get involved in grassroots, everything, politics, community building, community engagement, everything.
I have a question for you. I like how you said we are always waiting for the presidential election, forgetting the grassroots where the councillors, and that's where it's election. So I like where you came in from. Very beautiful. Who has something to add?
I have something to add. Just another perspective. We just discussed how some senators cannot even sing the national anthem. And I think that I think that is indicative of the lack of passion that they have for the country. Yeah. Because we are talking about people that want to work. Let's look at the intentions behind it. Why do you have that work ethic? Is it because you are looking for power? Is it because you are looking for wealth? Or is it because you love your country and you want to serve it? So when we're looking at our youth capable of fulfilling the expectations, we have to look at that. Do you love your country? Do you want to serve it? Do you want to deliver because you care about the people? Or because you just want people to say that you are a good politician?
Because being a good politician doesn't mean that you are a good leader or you are a good administrator. Because if we actually think about it, being a good politician boils down to being the best person at selling your platform, right? So if you say the right things to the right people at the right time, you secure their support. So it should go beyond who has the nicest, campaign pictures and who do I see at the club during the campaign trail the most. It should go beyond that. Okay, I know this person is running. This is the background this person is coming from. This is what they study. This is where their passion is. This is the position they are running for. If it ticks all your boxes, the thing is, if somebody appeals to you so much, we've seen it with Peter Obi versus Tinubu. If somebody appeals to you enough, they don't need to pay you to go and, evangelize their platform.
Yeah.
Their obedience to today, even though he didn't win, so that's what it is. If you believe strongly enough in something, you would tell people about it and it would spread. So I don't think good governance is an exception to that rule. So that's my 2 cents.
Okay, and then we're still dealing with politics, so there will always be people that are looking for holes in your administration.
Yeah.
So as he said, you have to be ready for whatever is coming. You have to be ready for overwhelming criticism. You have to be ready for doing thankless work, because there are people that no matter how much they do for you, you will still look for the one thing they did not do for you. So you have to be ready for that, and you have to love your country.
So on this, finally, Suleiman,
Yeah.
say something.
Based on what my colleague here said.
I can't hear you.
I said, based on what my colleague said here, the youth we need to participate in politics, so that we will know who to produce, not waiting for the time when doctor will come and say, I want to be a senator. Like, we need to participate, we need to know what is happening. When, like, we are the one that is going to pick. My sister here said, she's nice, like, if we present her, she's going to do.
Present the mandate.
We campaign for her, should we? Like, we need good representative there. Not waiting for the time that my lady say, wait, time for the election, before they come and tell us that I want to do something.
So with all said and done, there's this saying that if you can't beat them, join them, right?
Yeah.
So with everything that is going on, can you really say these youths that have been elected can change the system? Or do you think the system will corrupt them?
Yeah, it depends on how they approach it. Because this present system has been ongoing for decades. So if you are impatient and you are trying to do sharp work and go, they are not going to change anything and they will definitely be corrupted. But if you are trying to play the long game of integrity, the long game of service, then we have a chance. Because if we say that it's impossible and they are definitely going to be corrupted, that means we are not even looking forward to a better Nigeria. But if we encourage them to be patient, to play the long game, even if you don't change everything now, if you just move it by a centimeter, somebody else comes in, moves it by an inch, somebody else comes in, moves it by a mile.
But you know the impatient spirit of Nigerians. Do we also, the youths that are clamoring for this change, do you think we also have that? Anyway, you answer that later. Do you think we have the patience to wait for the change?
That's something we have to work towards, because there's this saying, lion doesn't give birth to a goat, right? We might be younger than the previous generation, but we are still a product of the same environment, right? So as much as we are sitting down today and we're talking about how these are the positive things that we want for Nigeria, and we hope that it's the young people amongst us that would usher it in. The truth about the reality that we're in is the same way we're hoping that there's a crop of well-meaning Nigerians who have positive intentions for Nigeria, who have their heads and hearts in the right places. They're also a crop of young Nigerians who just want to get into places of power or positions of power to continue the cycle that is currently, ongoing, because what their dad is the person that raised them, and this is the person he was. So it still goes back to education, right? Yeah. If we keep harking on these tenets of positivity and progress and positive change, maybe more people would be growing and aspiring with these mindsets, because we run a risk of putting people in positions because they are young. If we make that mistake, we're just going to find that we never made any change. Just to fill the quota that his administration is, balancing. Balancing is not just doing what we expected and flooded his cabinet with people who deliver their polling units, as it were.
Okay,
so
it's
I think individual difference also plays a big part because not every youth is the same. True. Like we were raised differently because of socialization.
Yeah.
So it's I'm not going to say it's hard to determine which youth knows the reality of Nigeria versus what he could be. I think it's more of what their intent may be. Like someone mentioned earlier, whether they want to be a high-ranking minister or whether they want to better Nigeria in the current state that it is. So, like I said, individual differences. We don't like some youths may not be as patriotic as others, but and some may be more capable than others that are patriotic. But it turns down to who can basically identify Nigeria's problems to not repeat the cycle that is ongoing.
Yeah. So for me, I think the talk of change is very unique. It doesn't necessarily have to be, oh, she did this for this constituency or he did that. The littlest thing, as I'll give an example, Badebo Rose Bible. You could see that with his his campaigning and everything. Before then, I would say like there was a sheer apathy for politics. But with the exposure like these younger people gave us, we were able to be more we were able to participate a lot more. Exactly. So for me, I feel like the talk of change is not just, oh, this is what Dr. Bessa did here. It's that, I don't know, like it's just much more than their action. It also goes down to their intent as well. So it's like, what did they do that inspired me as a youth, right? What did they say that inspired me as a youth? So it's much more than, oh, she did this or he did that. Like even just you coming out is enough. Like I said, us seeing younger people was just enough for the youth. So yeah, change in itself is unique.
So Doctor,
talking about if you can beat them, join them. To my mind, I think it's an individual decision, and it still falls back to competence.
Yeah.
It falls back to competence and track record. Now, if they actually have good track records, that's why they were appointed to sit on any of the positions. But it means that they are competent. Let's just assume they are competent. So if they are competent and if they have good track record, we believe that they won't join them. Now, everything we are saying now, we are optimistic, yes, because we can't actually say. So, but we believe that if these persons can come from different background, different educational background, some don't even school in Nigeria, so, and with their ideas, we believe that they won't join them, they will beat them. So let's just hope.
Right, Doctor.
Yeah, I think that every time that we have discussion or have political discussions and we speak about system, it scares the living hell out of me. The reason is because system is comprised of different fragments. Because to make up a system, you are dealing with different components, yes, interplaying within a particular space. So when you want to change a system, how do you begin? When you want to beat a system, how do you begin? And I'm going to just go with some of the ideas of one of very interesting personalities that I respect, Professor Jordan Peterson. He said that one of the ways to change the world, I'm paraphrasing, is to begin by cleaning your room. You want to change the world, we can say that, but begin by cleaning your room. Begin by setting your own house in order. Then let it extend to your immediate environment. And then it begins to extend so that there is a procedural structure that is intended to bring about change. Not just change, but sustainable change. All right, so I think that it is important that we are, as young people, are concerned about the position we occupy. that parastatal that we govern as a minister, how well are we willing to enact change, to do the work within that parastatal, so that we do it so well that the praises of the input and the difference we are making as young people in that parastatal resonates within the whole country. Yeah. And others can begin to see that and emulate. And the idea would be, if this person did it in the Ministry of Works, I can do it in my local government council. If this person did it within the Ministry of Transport, I can do it within my local environment. Because once we see one thing that looks like it shines bright, it's just a matter of time. As long as it keeps shining consistently, people will begin to navigate towards that. So the idea of beating them or joining them or changing the system, I think that is a lot large, a little big a conversation. I think we can start with the little ones. We have a position now, we have a minister that is 37, we have one spot now. How well are we going to manage this spot? How do we maximize this spot? How do we do what we need to do around this spot? And once we begin to think about that, then it begins to make a lot of sense. I can give a little example with Paulo Ferreira. Paulo Ferreira is an educationist, a person interested in edutainment. And he created a system to teach people, using entertainment to teach them, to make education entertaining. And he tried that out in Cuba. And that today is one of the systems that are used to educate people all over the globe. So we can start little, and maybe, if we are consistent, maybe we'll beat them, maybe.
All right, you've been listening to Click Naija, Unite Naija on Click Naija. And this program is being sponsored by Leadway Assurance. We'll be going on a short break, but before then, let me quickly take some Facebook comments. We have Gimbia Dangana saying, very interesting discussion. Rotimi Martins Olorunjo said the interaction is apt, particularly during this present administration that encourages youth participation in politics and governance. Tosin Khadijat is saying, I really love the inclusiveness of youth in this government. And thank you, Click Naija. Hey, thank you to Tosin and giving us the youth the platform to air our opinions. Yeah. Thumbs up. Thank you, Tosin. Hafsat is giving us a thumbs up. Chinyere is saying, this youth, that's to all of you here, all of us here, because I'm a youth too. All right, she said, these youths are really smart. They have what it takes and they know what they want. Oh, we need to give ourselves a round of applause. Yeah. Thank you, Chinyere, for that. Martins is saying, the place of the youth participation in governance is very key, and this is time to rise up to the occasion and shout out to high heavens.
Okay. Angela says, nice decision. I love the fact that the youths are focused on better Nigerians. Honestly, in fact, I'll appoint a minister. Next, we have Yahya Shehu says, the involvement of Nigeria in youth governance and policies could not be more emphasized. We have a lot of sacrifice to make both government and citizens in order to move the country forward. And Martin said the youth needs to tap into the wealth of experience of the older folks in order to balance the leadership equation. Then we have Gimbia Dangana. The youth are really ready to change the country, honestly, especially with
Okay, so we've been speaking with representatives from the University of Abuja, Bayes University, Nile University, and a doctor from the Department of Mass Communication, Bayes University. We'll be going on a short break now. And before then, a reminder that our topic is the new appointment of the President Tinubu's administration. That's what we'll be discussing on. Don't leave us, we'll be right back. Okay, let's take a breather.
Thinking inside the box is very limiting. Outside the box, now that's where the real gold is. Truth is, you're doing so well for always making moves, but now you need a partner like Leadway to take the high grounds with you. A partner experienced enough to help you build, knowledgeable enough to expand your assets, and competent enough to ensure your well-being and secure your future. Get more with Leadway, your one-stop shop for all your non-banking financial services. Visit one.leadway.com to get started.
You're listening and also watching Unite Naija on Click Naija, and we have been talking with students from University of Abuja, Base University, and Naija University on the new appointment of President Tinubu administration, what you can do differently. This program is sponsored by Leadway Assurance. My name is Nasir Yunusa.
I'm not taking a break with you again. I'm Elizabeth Ereke. Welcome back to the show.
So now we're going into our questions again. Some appointments were rejected and protested against because it was perceived that some appointees were too young and inexperienced.
That's taking a cue from the 25-year-old appointee for FEMA.
Now, do you think the experience factor is really necessary to hold such position? Now, did the leaders of the old folks have such experience, or they learned on the job?
Wafi is saying yes, so I want to get the yes
louder. I feel like FEMA is like a road construction company or so. I feel like you need the experience. Like, I don't know.
Project management.
Yes, yes, you need the experience. You can't just go there one day and then just appointed and then you just start working.
Can I cut you? How do you get the experience?
I feel like you prepare yourself pretty, like what doctor said.
Studying is different from practical.
I get what she's saying, and I agree. Like, you get experience, work experience from actually getting experience from doing the work. But there are particular positions or offices that require more of a wider learning curve. You can't go from undergrad or masters and be DG in Director General of a government organization.
Yeah.
I mean, I could be wrong. There could be exceptions to that rule, but it just seems like such a big leap, right? And this is not saying that young people shouldn't be given opportunities in positions of power. Absolutely not. From a young person to whoever decides the fate of young people from today moving forward, keep giving young people chances. But in giving young people chances, the gatekeepers still need to do their due diligence and make sure that the young people they're entrusting with these positions of power are at least competent enough.
You see, sorry to differ, when this case came up of the 25-year-old, and people kept saying, he's inexperienced, oh no, he's there, his father is the one doing this and that. And we as youth keep saying, oh, we need to occupy some key positions, and we keep talking of experience. These old people that we have started somewhere. And don't forget that being made a chairman doesn't mean he's going to run that organization alone. He has his board of trustees, so they could all as well guided him. I don't know, that's my own, I'm not supposed to take side anyway, but I'm just trying to understand where we're all coming from. Like, no, he's not supposed to be, or he's supposed to have experience. How does he gain this experience if he's not guided on what he has to do?
I think it depends on what is at stake.
What is at stake? If we are clamoring for change, then we should be able to go into it doggedly. However it comes.
A passionate youth.
You understand? We should take all chances against all odds to just create a difference. I felt if that guy been given a chance, would have probably even done better than an old person. But then let me give people the floor. Let it not be like I'm siding, but I'm just trying to.
I'm sort of between you and him because I completely agree with what he said. You have to have an organic development. You can't just jump from being an undergraduate to be Director General. You have to start from somewhere, and of course, we can occupy positions of power, but even if we are fighting for positions, as you said, doggedly,
what happens when you now get there? What will
you do when you're there? What about the experience? What about the knowledge? You can be you can have all the work ethic in the world, but if you don't have the smarts, you are barely going to make any difference.
So how will you have the smarts if you're not given the platform to develop the smarts?
That's what I'm hammering on. I understand where you're coming from. We can get the platform, but we don't need to get to the top of the top so quickly.
I don't think
because that can even work as a disadvantage.
Medical student to heart surgeon.
To a lawyer. But he's still within his field.
Let's hear from Doctor.
So we have 3 minutes to round this up.
Let's hear from Doctor.
Okay, learning on the job or gaining experience. So let's start with learning on the job. At what cost?
Exactly.
If you are learning on the job, what is at stake? If you are learning on the job and you are learning on the job with a nation's parastatal, that's a lot.
Yeah.
To learn, that's a lot to put on a platform or put on ground as a learner.
Yeah.
If you want to ride a car, start with a driving school and they give you a car that is rickety. You drive that around, no fear of what would happen and all that. But you are learning to drive, we give you a Ferrari. Almost 100 and something million naira is at stake, and the chances that you will bash that car is 89 over 100.
97.
And then the thing is, when that car is messed up, the responsibility falls on a lot of people. So if FEMA doesn't work, Nigeria carries that. The government carries that. Who pays? Because what you get from people who mess things up is sorry. You can't kill them. So the argument is learning on the job should be with things that wouldn't be mean much if it is ruptured, but not a country. All right. So and then when it has to do with how do we learn and gain experience, I think that we all must understand that when we begin, there must be an ambition, there must be a goal. I started thinking that I wanted to be educated. It was on account of that I started making the moves I made. So you start thinking about it and feeling, okay, I might want to own something, I might want to be somewhere one day, and then you begin to work towards it. On account of that, you probably think you might want to go into construction. Start with Julius Berger, go to some of those places and begin to do some of the learning work early enough.
I mean, if you want to build a skyscraper, you don't just magically put your cement blocks and then you have done your work. You dig and you build your foundation and you start small. As I said earlier, if you just start putting young, inexperienced people at the top, where a lot is at stake, that can create a complex in people that are coming in after, telling them that you don't even need to start from the bottom. We can just give you whatever you need, and before you know it, they will feel like they are indispensable, like they can just do whatever without any consequences.
All right. So finally, Jetron.
Yes, I think Nigeria has a very unique kind of setting, and we need to understand Nigeria before we even make appointments. Actually, yes. Yesterday I was checking the news, and I saw that someone was appointed as the Director General, and people are saying it shouldn't be the DG because there is a particular level you get to at the civil service before you can be appointed as the DG. So that, well, are you going to reward hard work and competence? So I think in appointments like this, we need to look at even our constitution. What does the constitution say? What does is it Civil Service or Public Service Act? What does it say about bringing people about appointments, so that we'll not be making same mistakes again?
The experience is more important in that kind of position.
Yes.
Experience is more.
Can I just say one thing?
Just one thing.
Yes,
Quickly.
Because like off camera, when we were having that debate,
It can't be off camera.
No, like the conversation we had, like doctor said something when we were like, oh, you don't really need to have experience, like maybe you can learn on the job. We've seen things like this play out, and we've seen a lot of people mess up where they learned on the job, right? And like Nigeria is very multi-everything.
Yeah.
I don't understand why you can't be 25 and fulfill that position. I don't even know how you start.
When did you go to we are dealing with construction.
Constructions, yeah.
We are dealing with construction.
Accurately.
People will ask you questions like,
what have you done in your constituency? What have you done in your local government? What have you, like, you haven't even done the grassroots work and then you want to fly off. It's not bad, but like, if you are saying that you're 25, maybe you started your humanitarian years old, that people say, okay, but like, there's so much work to do because there's so many countries. You know what I mean?
I believe that there are positions that shouldn't be allocated to young people. Yes, like Minister of Petroleum, give it to a young person.
Yeah, that's good.
They are setting that person up to fail.
Exactly.
Right? You already know we have very deep problems in these areas. So it's not young blood you are looking for in those spaces.
Youth and sport, maybe. Youth and sport.
Rightfully so. Nobody complains about the
with
new
everything
minister
we are all saying here.
We're happy.
What do youths want? Because they are giving youth this appointment. We are saying he's 25. Do we want a 65-year-old person to come in? If they had given a 70-year-old man, it's saying he's too old.
We want a government that works. It's not about.
So I'm talking about the experience that
delivering.
We want
deliver.
So when would the right time?
You know, I want to see. There's even
sorry, Wafi wants to say something. Sorry.
Something like FEMA, we need someone that is a bit experienced, more experienced than a 25-year-old.
So what age would you say?
Any age. Just have it on your CV.
But listen, it's easier said than done, because if they had brought in a 75-year-old man, we would have still shouted.
There are still 35.
Feel like when you don't
experience at 25 years old.
My sister here said they can even give him that position at that age of 25, but he have to start somewhere.
Yeah, because that is why he has board of trustees.
So he has
board members.
Okay, can I explain something to you? I had a story of what happened in Kano, a history, very historical.
Yeah.
The Mayor of Kano was going on a trip or something like that with just his entourage back in the day, and he met a man that was selling water, and the person looked like he was blocking the road, and he just instructed that the person be locked up, and they picked him and locked him up and forgot him there. You see, the position of authority is very important. So you can have your suggestions and ideas. It's left to me to say yes or no. So you can have the best team, but if the leader does not understand what the team is trying to achieve, he keeps messing every plan up.
Everybody's way.
Yeah, exactly. So he goes out. This parastatal is not working. This place is not working. They wouldn't know that people are trying so hard to make it work, but because the head does not understand what they are trying to do. All right. So I think that the idea of saying when are we going to start? He has board of trustee. Who would want to be a leader and want the board of trustees to be the one deciding everything? In no distant time, it will go around that this one is just a figurehead. How did indirect to become popular?
They are controlling him.
But those words were already coming up. Anyways, like I said earlier, maybe it's something we'll take home. What do youth actually want from the conversations we've had? So we are gradually calling it.
I'm sorry.
There's just one thing I want to say as well.
I feel like it's not an open-ended question. What young people want is obvious, it's clear. We want a Nigeria that is not trying to kill us. We want a Nigeria that works. We want a Nigeria we can be proud of. That's all.
And if we have young people doing things, they should be everything that we hope for.
Okay. So just one last. So lastly, Angel, I won't entertain any other question.
So like, when it comes to Nigeria, there are so many stakeholders, right? Because if you want to say that we don't have enough young people representing us, let's ask, how are we reporting our news? How are we, how is our reportage like? Because we don't see many news about what's going on in the grassroots. There are a lot of young people that are doing the work there. Do you get what I mean? But we are more focused on the federal and the state level. So when it comes to like the issue of Nigeria, there are so many stakeholders involved. There's the government, there's the media, there's we the citizens, and everybody else in between. So that's what I think. I think that they're actually young.
So with this particular youth, we need experience before you climb the seat.
Okay, well, I'm nowhere. I belong to everybody. So case closed. So we are gradually coming to a wrap on the program. The next set of questions is going to be channeled to each university. So once you are done, Okay, we call it a wrap.
Yeah.
So, who am I going to start with first? Who is going to be number one? Days. Number one. I'll go with 9. Right? So with everything, with the way his appointments were being, President Tinubu's appointments were made, would you think the government really understand the youths in Nigeria? Looking at his appointments so far.
That's really dicey. I would also say it's debatable. And I would say it's debatable because they just started out. So everybody now is giving them the benefit of the doubt. So I cannot make such bold claims, and I still should not sit on the fence. So let me just say I'm watching the space.
So you are towing my lane of belonging to everybody else?
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to add something?
Yes, so with the establishment of the separation of the youth ministry that brings about youth development issues and whatnot, I feel like it's a step further to realize what youth can do with the current Nigeria, but like Angel said, it's still too early to tell for sure.
Yeah.
So I feel like we need more time to see the potential that youth can bring.
Yeah.
Wow, beautiful.
I think that it was a great step, first of all, bringing younger people into the administration. Yes. So, like I said, it's too early, like they said, sorry, it's too early to make any decisions.
Yeah.
That's yes, but if I want to give a last remark, a closing remark for myself.
Just hold on, you give your closing remark.
Okay.
So the next question is for who, Nas?
Base University.
Okay.
So if you are to correct one impression about young people in Nigeria, what impression will that be?
Oh my days. Can we correct 3 impressions?
Go ahead.
1. Nigerian youths are not lazy.
Period.
That's the obvious one.
Why are we still carrying this?
No, it's
Oh my
correct.
God,
I want to hear that.
Strong voice made that statement. The leader of our country at one point said those words.
And it's still hurting.
So because he's supposed to be the voice of our nation, and he said that. So it's a credible place to make that kind of statement, a credible place for that to come from. The second misconception about young people is that we don't know what we want. I think being born into the Nigerian condition, you are aware of all the things that you don't want, right? So very quickly, you figure out what you want from your country, or from the people around you, from the institutions that you are a part of. Young people know what they want down to spades, right? It's the opportunity to go after what they want that has been lacking till date. The third notion I want to clear up with our young people is that we are disorganized, or we don't know how to band together. I think that a lot of old people think that the internet was supposed to bring us together, but it has also created a big divide because people are more socially anxious, people are more reluctant or less open to making friends, but it's not true. I feel like these 3 things are the 3 major misconceptions about young people in Nigeria that I've heard that I would really like to correct.
Wafi, I like that name. Wafi.
I believe young people bring in like creative, innovative ideas, like they change the breath of the air, like they change the atmosphere. We have a lot going on in our heads, like we have a lot of ideas that are better, and then if we're given the opportunity, we would actually put them out there and it will actually work for us.
Suleiman.
That's what I was
So say it again. Say it louder.
like the youth have like ideas, like the knowledge of things. Like we need an opportunity. Like may the government give us an opportunity
Yeah.
There are a lot of things we youth can do that
cannot do that.
I don't want to say it that way, but with respect to old people, there are a lot of things we have information exactly that we have information on, and we can do it very well. That the elder with respect to
ones
the
that
older
can keep
people.
up with the fast.
So this is our
Exactly.
message to Mr. President. I hope we all know that. So the last man, will I say the only man standing in the University of Abuja? I would want to ask you this question. If you were to be the president of Nigeria for one day, just 24 hours, why are you shouting? Okay, so, no, don't worry. Since he's the only man standing in the University of Abuja, I will give you one, will I say, 60 seconds.
No problem.
To tell us what you will do. I'll also give Bolu. I'm channeling this to you. I'll give Bolu 60 seconds to tell me what he will do if he's the president of Nigeria for 24 hours. What would you do to channel Nigeria in the right course?
If I'm privileged to be the president of Nigeria for 24 hours, I'm not going to stress myself too much. I will basically work on education. Now, I will try to make sure that within that 24 hours, we know we cannot do everything, but we'll try to bring laws, implementation, so that we can be more focused, like the Bloom's taxonomy of education that says, education is the development of someone's cognitive, affective, and psychomotor domain. Now, we have to develop people, not just cognitively, not just what you can think. We will make laws that will make people to use their motor skills. We need more people. That is why we have the challenge of the young person, the 25-year-old DG, because many young people are not trained to use their motor skill. So if we are trained to use our motor skill from university days or from even primary school days, we will not be having issue of what experience do you have. We have been so glued to that experience, to that stuff, that when we get to any position, we'll be able to function well. So when I become the president, I work on education, cognitive, affective, and psychomotor.
You're always an educationist. I said that because I had a show with him sometime and he was hammering on education. So please, the government should do something about our educational sector. 60 seconds, Wafi.
If I was the president of Nigeria for 24 hours, I'd actually try to invest in youth, and then, like you said,
I can't hear you.
I would try to invest.
It's just how you're going to speak to us as the president. So let's go again.
Okay, if I was the president of Nigeria for 24 hours, I'll actually invest in our youths, and then, like he said, make laws. Like, we need...
What kind of laws? Be specific.
Everything. Like, we are not organized. I feel like everything, even merely on the road, you know that there are people that they don't, I don't know, we need to make laws, like a lot of laws, that if you do something and if you are caught, it's just execution or on the right.
You're saying, yeah.
Let people be.
I'm not giving you, I'm not with my mic. One thing is my mic.
Exactly. I feel if we're not afraid of the consequences, we can do anything. So you should get put out anything.
Bolu.
I just want to.
I'm not calling you.
Okay, so
If you're the president for 24 hours,
what would you do?
okay, so like the whole topic of this whole podcast, I think I'll just invest in the youths. I would probably make a system to try and teach youth the differentiation between theory, practice, and experience. To get them to equip them with the knowledge and the overall idea of the current Nigeria system. Then I would work on the infrastructure of Nigeria, because let's be honest, look around us, like seriously. I'll work on the infrastructure, the roads. I would make a plan. Yeah, I'll make a plan on that.
See, I want to call it a rap, but you're bribing me. So no, not everybody. If I give everybody, we don't. I want to go. Don't you want to go?
I want everybody to shine.
Oh, you want to go?
I like it here now.
Okay, so I'm going to give you 30. She indicated first. Miss Kadiri, right?
Yeah.
Wait. I have my rules. I gave you people 60 seconds, right?
Yeah.
So whatever your thought is, please channel it within 30 seconds. Right? So I have how many people that want to give extra contributions?
No.
We have
I
to,
think my question
This is my class. No, wait, this is my class, so you are free to raise your hand. Okay, so you round. Okay, so you tell us everything you want to say. So just hold on. So Miss Kadiri, 30 seconds. Suleiman, 30 seconds. Mudia, are you still interested?
of course,
30 seconds. So, Angel.
Yes.
You want to say something?
See, my manifesto is here.
I'm counting. Please let her 30 seconds be 30 seconds, right?
Yeah.
So, Miss Kadiri, let's go.
I just wanted to add to what you were saying.
Don't add. What will you do as a president for 24 hours?
As a president, I would just look at education.
I can't hear you.
I would look at education, the educational sector, and I don't know if this is so far-fetched, but I'll also look at health.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it seems as if it's only the people that can afford luxury, that can afford to be healthy, and that can afford long life. So I would definitely look at that, look at how to make it more accessible to people.
Thank you very much, Suleiman.
Thank you, ma'am. Like if
Thank you, Lizzie. Alright, let's go.
If I'm opportune to be a president of this country for 24 hours, first
I can't hear you. I don't know. See, we are vibrant youths now. I want to be president. So let's go.
If I'm opportune to become the president of this country for 24 hours,
good.
I'm going to invest in the security because I'm from the north. I know what is happening. Like, I will not say because I'm from the north. When the country have peace, like I know everything will work well. With what is happening in the north, like if I'm opportune to become the president, I'm going to invest in the security.
Thank you very much, Mr. Suleiman Mudia. I hope I'm calling your name right.
Yes.
Good.
If I had the privilege of becoming president for 24 hours, I would focus on electricity. I would focus on the Electoral Commission, and I would focus on education. Education, especially in the areas of history, because like we've rightfully pointed out, those who don't know their history are at risk of repeating it. Exactly. So bringing back history, civic history, cultural history is very important. I'll give you an example. Benin artifacts are all over the world. We're trying to bring them back. There's resistance. Young people don't even know that it's happening. So we don't even have enough voices advocating for what is our birthright, what is our fundamental human right. So it's just an example. History is very important. If we don't.
What are you studying again?
Mass communication.
Are you a first class student?
So let's finish.
So yeah, that's it.
Your 30 seconds, you see, you are eating into his 30 seconds.
So yes, that's it for me.
Thank you very much.
Madam Manifesto.
No, I'll be very quick. So if I was the president, I would really hound on collaboration, and that's between the government and private individuals. So we have a lot of citizens who are tilting towards tech. So the government can always collaborate and partner with the private institutions to create workshops, trainings for young people, and they come with incentives too, because that's what we like, incentives too. Yeah. So I also deploy a lot of good communication strategists who are in these various, layers in Nigeria, from the federal, state to the local government, the grassroots. So you reach out to the youth in your trained personnel, good communication strategists. And yeah, basically just collaboration. We are going to collaborate in every sector of the economy.
Thank you very much, Angel. I think we deserve a round of applause for ourselves.
As Nigerians, we're ready. So our next question is to our doctor in the house. What key expectation do you have for this government?
And I want to add, please, before you answer that, we are sitting around youths. We are rounding off.
Yeah.
So you are our concluder. What advice? You are a lecturer, you deal with students, you deal with a lot of young people. What advice would you give generally to youths in the world?
Yeah. Okay. My expectations from this government. To say the least, I am happy with the way it is going. There are so many things that I expect. But so far so good. I can say that they have not been trying and they are not working. But I would hope and I would plead that we see practical steps that are taken to include the youth. Practical steps. It begins with ministerial appointment, good, but we should move a little further from that. It should move. I expect to see a lot of work, diligent, supervised work done on the Nigerian agricultural system. The cost of living is becoming seriously exorbitant. There is a good move with the oil with the subsidy removal, and a lot of us might not fully grasp it. I'm still trying to study it, but I think that it is one thing to deal with an issue. It's another thing to create another platform that cushions and mitigates the effect and the impact of that issue. And I think that investment in agriculture, I want to see them investing in agriculture, and not just investment in it, supervising it to ensure that Nigeria is at least able to feed herself. I also expect to see some work done in the Nigerian health sector. The reason I speak about these things, and another work done in the Nigerian educational system, the reason I speak about these things is because I feel strongly that these areas are the areas that the common man can benefit from. This is how the government can reach out to the common man, who I feel are a majority of the Nigerian population. Because from statistics, it's like 70 to 65% live in rural areas. And so working in these areas and doing something around this would help. And these are my expectations. Then last but not the least, I sincerely hope that the Nigerian system will really fund education, and they would work on infrastructure, educational infrastructure. Very, very important. I wish them all the best. For the students, I will speak, young people generally in the world, just to air my voice on some of the things I think that we should work on. I think we should not be filled with empty words. We should be people that are more concerned about actions. If that means that you would have to keep quiet and work in silence and allow your actions to speak for you, then kudos to you. You are my hero. I hope that wouldn't be people who are loud on social media, who are filled with words and intelligent statements on social media, but when we come to the track of action that corroborates what we say, we have absolutely nothing to show around that area. We should be people of action. Do not talk, act, because your actions can speak. It's only how good you act that will actually determine how loud your actions speak. So if your actions have a voice, then do as much as you can to ensure that you are investing in your action. Then lastly, let's try to educate ourselves. Let's try to work on self-development. Let's try to educate ourselves and work on self-development. It might not be school education for those that do not have the means to go to school. Just use this smartphone and educate yourself. Do something to improve your learning, improve your understanding of things and how things work. Develop yourself and educate yourself. Then last but not least, do not be distracted. It looks like Nigeria is not for you, but trust me, your turn is coming closer than you imagine. Do not be distracted. And I am speaking optimistically that in the next 40 years, every young person now would be somebody big, somebody elderly, within their 30s, their late 40s. So if you don't begin now to think of that great thing you want to become, that director you want to become, that Mr. President, that governor, and begin to do the underground work now, when you get to that time, you will be too inexperienced to handle any position. So it is important that you begin to work now, because in no distant time, the ball will be in your court. And it will be very, very embarrassing that we say the same things you are saying about the people ruling now about you. So thank you very much. This is just an amazing time.
I think we deserve a round of applause.
If I was close, I'd high five.
You can see it.
So I want us to share this video now to our friends, our family members, our brothers, our sisters, everybody. Let them see, let them know what we have discussed on the show. And the conversation still goes on. Yes. You're still free to drop your comments, your views on what we've discussed today. I want to say a very big thank you to our sponsor, Leadway Assurance Nigeria. Thank you, representatives from Bage University, Suleiman, Wafi, Mudia. Thank you very much. And our doctor, Dr. Harris, for being a part of the show. Thank you, Jetron, from the University of Abuja. I hope I'm getting your names right? Thank you very much, Miss Kadiri. I've forgotten your first name. Uyo. Thank you very much, Uyo. Thank you, Bolu. Thank you, Angel. You are an angel on the show. And then, of course, thank you, Nas.
Yes, thank you,
So people should thank us. Yeah, I must say that the show was actually inciting. We had a very good conversation, and we want to keep the conversation going. Nas, I don't want to go. I don't know if you want to go. We want to go.
It's actually
fun. We have to go. It's a wrap on the show. Once again,
thank you all for your valuable insights. Like everybody, you guys did well for all your enlightening discussion on the important topic. Thank you very much. It's our hope your contribution helped to create more inclusive and effective government for Nigeria. This is where we conclude our special edition of Unite Naija Season 2. Next to the entire production team and our supervising producer Ehi Ohiani. My name is Nasir Yunusa and
I am Elizabeth Ereke. So before we go, I want us to do a little thing. You know, I'm from Kogi, you are from Ogun, you are from Anambra,
no, Abia.
You are from Abia, you are from Akwa Ibom, you are from Cross River, Kogi, from the north, where? Plateau, Bauchi. You see, we are all from different parts of Nigeria, and we are united under one platform, Pick Nigeria. So I want us to shout a big Unite Nigeria that will shake Radio House as vibrant. One after the count of what? Three. One. What are we shouting?
Unite Nigeria.
Thank God we're on the same page. So after the count of 3, 1, 2, go! Unite Nigeria!
Leadway, we give you more. You're safe and secure with the power of more. There's more to Leadway, you can be sure. More wealth and good health for you, there's more. There's more to generational wealth. There's more to Leadway, give more with Leadway. Secure your future and your health. There's more to Leadway, get more with Leadway. To serve you well, we put them all together. More services to focus on our people. Happy faces everywhere, your goals are secure. Non-banking financial services, surely #1.
Get more with Leadway, your one-stop shop for all your financial services. Visit one.leadway.com to get started.